Humans are designed to recognize flaws. You won't notice that every day if you put a shirt on that it has all of its buttons. And yet, the day that you put the shirt on and a button is missing, you immediately notice that it's out of place and there's something wrong. In fact, the experience of noticing flaws is worse than this, because often the things that go well, we don't actually spend any time in experiencing the thing going well. Let's say one day there is no queue to buy something at the supermarket, or you're driving and there is no traffic. You don't spend any time sitting in delight waiting to get to the end of the queue because you're already at the end of the queue. Whereas, if you arrive at the end of a very large queue, you have the whole queue to sit in being frustrated, maybe for half an hour, maybe a whole hour, just sitting there being frustrated at your bad luck. But you don't spend much time sitting in your good luck. Hello, and welcome to the Growth Mindset Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the concept of paying the price of admission. We're going to learn how to notice wider statistics in our life, to be more aware of all the good things in our life and recognize the size of the small costs we may pay to get the overall good things. This way, we can accept small problems gladly and with a lot less frustration. So firstly, we're going to talk about relationships. We'll often expect perfection from our relationships, and we're not always ready to deal with the other imperfections that just naturally occur with any person. We'll just look at their problems. We'll hold on to their flaws and we'll try to change them, and we'll store up our feelings and we'll just cause arguments and make the whole relationship worse for them and ourselves. Now, if you want to ride on a roller coaster, you'll have to pay a fee to get on it. And it's the same with any person in the world will probably have some habits that you don't like. Because they are a human, they are not a perfect entity. Equally, you will probably have some habits that anybody else in the world won't like. And that is fine. Of course, there are some non-negotiables, whatever they might be for you, that are part of a healthy relationship. But other things you should be flexible on. On The Art of Negotiation, James Clear states that if you are stuck in a negotiation, figure out the one thing for you that is truly non-negotiable, and then you can compromise on anything else. It actually doesn't matter. So let's say you're a tidy person and the person you're in a relationship with is less tidy. They'll often leave dirty dishes around. That could be very annoying. But if they have lots of qualities that you do like and love, and you enjoy having your time and your life with them, well, if after a few years they still have this habit of dirty dishes, it's probably worth you not getting annoyed at them every day because you're also just annoying yourself, and it's just part of the relationship. If they have all the other good qualities that you like, you may as well pay the price of admission and accept that. You might like to think that it's great that you can bring your own tidying skills and they can bring their humor or their kindness, whatever it is that you like about them, and that you make a great team together. Of course, if their lack of tidying is just a sign of their general approach to life and they're just a shambles of a person and you actually just dislike basically everything about their personality and you want them to be a different human entirely before you can love them, well, you're not actually in love with this person and you're just in love with an idea of someone that is completely different, in which case you clearly don't want to pay the price of admission because that's not a ride you want to be on and the costs are outweighing the benefits, so it makes sense to get off the ride. But usually, if you zoom out, look at the big picture, the costs are often quite small, and you're just shooting yourself in the foot when you get annoyed at something every day if it's just a small habit that they have. You're ruining your own happiness when there's a chance to be grateful for the overall package. If your short-term need for perfection is ruining the long-term need for something that's just healthy and good, you need to accept people as they are, accept their small flaws at prices that you should pay for being in a relationship with anyone, basically. And if you're going to abandon the relationship really quickly because of some small things, like whatever relationship you're going to find next is going to have lots of other small things. They might not be the same, but you can't find perfect. It doesn't exist. And you should, of course, remember that you probably annoy people daily with some things that you do as well, and that you probably don't think about too much because it's just not something that you care about. So when you do get faced with another day of cleaning the dishes, for this example, just go with the flow and smile and clean the dishes because you know that this is something and clean the dishes and know that that was something that could have caused an argument, and instead you're accepting it and having a nice day. And it's so much nicer to accept things and have a nice day than it is to have arguments and have a shit day. Trust me. Now, You can learn to enjoy whatever chore it may be as part of the price for building your relationship. Now, I'm not implying that women should accept cleaning the dishes whilst men go out and work or something completely bonkers. I know plenty of untidy women who have great careers and appreciate having a man in their life that sometimes does some more tidying than them. That said, in general, guys probably could be cleaning because, sort your shit out. Reflecting on this example, I kind of think it's quite terrible, but it does represent the overall issue that sometimes there are small things and we should focus on the bigger things, and we just sort of zoom in on these small problems without really thinking about the wider thing to be grateful for. So don't bring your fast judgments when there's a much bigger thing to look at. There's no point in complaining and harboring bad feelings when there's a much bigger thing that you're not appreciating. A relationship is a ride. It will go up and down, and you do need to pay the price of admission. Now, it's not just relationships. It's the same with things like the stock market. The stock market is inherently irrational on a day-to-day basis. It goes up and down a lot. The real rewards in the stock market come from playing the long game, as companies, ETFs increase in value and outperform your savings with ease if you don't mess with them. But so many people get into the stock market and then they lose money because they just get too involved with it. If you buy a stock and expect it to just follow a perfect straight line to the top to double your money, that's not realistic. And if the moment it starts to go down, you panic and sell, you'll start losing money. If you wait for it to go up again and then buy after it's gone up, again, you've lost money. To play the stock market and to make money, now to play the stock market and make money out of its irrationality, out of its volatility, you have to be along for the ride. You have to accept the price of admission, which is that at certain times, your money will go down as well as up, because that's how it works. Just like in relationships, you can't expect things to be perfect and easy every single day. Things can get volatile and the path will go down as well as up. But to enjoy the fruits of the stock market, you have to have a long-term mindset and pay the price of admission. Now, there's plenty more examples just like this if you look into it in life. There is no such thing as a perfect job, but there are plenty of things that are good enough. If you want to work remotely, you will just have less social time with people. You'll find it harder to make friends or settle into new cities, but you'll have the freedom to work from wherever you want. If you want to travel, you will have to spend time finding hotels and Airbnbs and flights and insurance and vaccinations and packing and losing stuff, but you'll get to travel. If you want to be healthy, you'll have to make time for exercise. You'll have to work out when you don't feel like working out. You'll have to be prepared to become sweaty and exhausted in front of strangers, but you'll be healthier. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to take risks. You have to go through moments of crushing difficulty and exhaustion. And if entrepreneurship was easy, everyone would have a ragingly successful business already. The fact that entrepreneurship is hard is why entrepreneurship has rewards that most people don't have. If entrepreneurship was instantly rewarding, everyone would already be massively successful. I just love the phrase that to become a professional at anything, you have to be comfortable as a terrible amateur first. So whatever you do in life, good things do have a cost, and you should pay it gladly. It's the price of admission. If you panic straight away, and if you're not willing to ever pay the cost of admission, you'll never be able to enjoy the ride. I hope this has given you some things to reflect on and helps you find greater success in relationships, investing, and anything else you do with your life. If you do feel like investing in making a good review of the show, that would make me very happy. But of course, I don't expect all of my listeners to go out and review the show instantly. That would be an irrational belief and would make me depressed if I believed it, because it wouldn't happen. Instead, I'm aware that most people are just busy. They're doing stuff with their life rather than waiting around to make a good comment on my podcast. And if you want to be a podcaster, you have to deal with the fact that even when you have thousands of listeners, a tiny percentage of that might leave a review if you're lucky. It's just human nature. So it's just the price of admission. It's not that bad. But many podcasters get really downhearted when they're each day it's shit, there's no new reviews, no one likes me. It's not true. It's just the fact that every single podcast you listen to has people asking for reviews. So anyway, on the topic of human nature, life is short and it is to be enjoyed. Importantly, enjoying yourself is not a thing for the future. It's not a future task that you'll get round to someday, like leaving me a good review. No, enjoying yourself is a task that starts right now. So be bloody lovely to yourself, even if that does mean doing some hard things. Remember, you can be grateful and enjoy doing the hard things. And whilst you're at it, be kind to someone else too. Thank you so much for listening.